Welcome back to the Sports News Analysis YouTube page. Be sure to subscribe to my page to get previews of every game here in Week 15 in the NFL, as well as other exciting sports commentary and analysis. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the New Orleans Saints will be facing off this week in an NFC South divisional matchup, both coming off of pretty disappointing losses last week. Tampa at the final gun at home to the Philadelphia Eagles, and New Orleans, which went up on the road to New York to play the Giants. It ended up being an inclement weather game and got absolutely waxed by the Giants. So both of these teams out of the playoff mix as far as this year goes. Tampa coming in at 6-7, New Orleans coming in at 5-8. As always, I think that stuff definitely has an effect on teams. Okay, we're out of the playoff hunt here. How do we play out the string? In this case, how do we play out the last 3 games of the season? And I think that always plays a role here in these games late in the year, particularly with 2 teams who are out of it. Tampa, 6-7, I think maybe even a touch better, or right where people expected them probably this season. They had a lot of high-priced free agent acquisitions, most notably Vincent Jackson and some additions on the offensive line. I think that they've played well this year. I think maybe their record is right where everyone thought it was going to be, but I think they've actually played better, if that makes any sense, than people thought this season. They've been in every game. They've responded well to new coach Greg Schiano. They've gotten the touchdown and interception numbers from Josh Freeman that I think they were looking for. They'd probably like to see that pass completion percentage creep up a little bit. They have a find, and it looks like a legit running back, although he struggled a little bit lately, in Doug Martin, the rookie out of Boise State. I think they have a nice young nucleus, and most of all, they're believing in the Greg Schiano program, and they play to the final gun every single week. And I think that's going to serve them well here heading into the last 3 games of the season. The Saints, even more news coming out about Bountygate today, and how Paul Tagliabue is going to lift any of the fines given to the players. I can't believe this is still going on, and we're still hearing news trickle out about Bountygate. These players, I know I'm sick of it, these players have to be absolutely exhausted from this season and how mentally draining it's been for them. Not knowing who they're going to have playing on a week-to-week basis, being without their head coach for the whole season. I think it's a situation where I think you saw a little bit of this last week. Not that anyone's giving up, but I just think you're seeing the fatigue setting in for the Saints as a whole. And again, I think in the last month of the season, you're going to see that more as we go on here. They've given it their best effort, but sometimes there's things outside of your control that really preclude you from being able to play your best, and I think that's the situation the Saints find themselves in. Earlier this year, remember, the Saints defeated the Bucs back in Tampa 35-28, a game which featured both teams having more than 450 yards of total offense. I think this game will be sort of similar to that, maybe not as high scoring, because I do think the Bucs defense has gotten better since that date. But you look at the Saints, their defense has probably even taken more of a step back since then. So I look for the game to be relatively high scoring. I look for the Bucs, though, to come out and still play with something to prove, that Schiano can sell to them, hey, look, the difference between going 8-8 or 9-7 is big. Big difference from going 7-9 or 6-10. And I think this team that's still growing, that's still people competing for positions for next year. I mean, the Saints don't even know really right now who their coach is going to be next year. Sean Payton isn't locked up for next year. So what is the mindset in that locker room going forward? I think they'll come out and play hard because they have leaders like a Drew Brees who will get them focused for this game. But I just like Tampa and the overall direction their team is headed in and the building blocks they're putting in place. I like them to have a strong finish to the season and stay competitive in every game as they have up until this point. And I just look for the Saints to take a step back and kind of ride out the rest of the season and really look forward to this season getting over, getting Sean Payton back, getting into the offseason, re-signing Sean Payton, making some free agent moves, some draft moves, and kind of really turning the page as an organization and putting this Bountygate stuff behind them. Right now, the Saints are installed as 3.5-point favorites. I like Tampa Bay plus the 3.5 on the road to stay toe-to-toe with the Saints and maybe even win this game on the road. At the very least, I think you're talking about maybe a 1 or 2 point Saints win. But the more I think about this game, the more I'm absolutely leaning towards the Buccaneers, not only plus the 3.5, but the Buccaneers outright in Week 15 here in this NFC South showdown. Again, be sure to check my other previews here. And on Twitter, I'm always on Twitter, at SNewsAnalysis. That's at SNewsAnalysis. Thanks, guys, and thanks as always for watching. Have a good day.